Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Tuesday Talks with the Conways.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Chris. Glad you all could join us this week. We've got a lot to talk about, and hopefully, you all have a lot to say as well. We love interactive podcasts, so feel free to comment with questions or concerns, regardless of whether it's related to the topic or not. Welcome, Joy. Sorry we're running a little late. Tend to be a little frazzled sometimes lately, trying to get things last minute. Plus, this restream platform, I have to log in literally right before we start. Otherwise, in like 2 minutes, it times out. So, kind of crazy. But yes, technology, gotta love it. Joy and Regina, welcome, welcome. We'll wait a few moments to make sure we give everyone enough people to a chance to join us. Feel free to let us know where you're watching from. If you're one of our regulars, welcome back, like Joy and Regina and Diane. And we've got a bunch of people on Instagram. If this is your first time, let us know. Welcome. So, let's just kind of talk about how hot it is.
Oh my goodness. I don't like it. I don't like it.
She always complains about how cold it is, and I can't wait till it gets warmer.
I say I can't wait till it gets warmer. Not I want it to be 100 degrees outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would much, 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 much rather the cold temperatures, even the coldest temperatures we get. I would very much rather the cold temperatures than these nasty, sweaty,
It's rough.
humid days. It was like almost it was like 97, 98 heat index down here. Lots of humidity.
Yeah, we actually weren't allowed to take the kids out this afternoon, but for like 10 minutes just to get their wiggles out. I work at a daycare. But yeah, we had to limit how long they could go outside because we had like a heat advisory. And I was like, this is not fun.
Yep. Welcome, Bernadette from Long Island, New York, and Jody is here with us again today. 100 degrees. Didn't go to the gym, but did get 1,100 or 11,000 steps using the under desk elliptical, which is good. Absolutely. I know what you meant, Jody. Gum and gym was a pretty easy typo there. 106, Joy. Goodness gracious, with the heat index, that is yucky. I did 2 outdoor walks today, even though I didn't really want to, and even though it was heat. I had a hat because my bald head tends to get sunburn, so I started wearing a hat. I've never really worn a hat hardly a day in my entire life, so now that I don't have any hair to protect the top of my head, I have to. I do think that the heat bothers me a little less, maybe with my increased health and my lower weight. It still wasn't super comfortable, but I think that I would have really, at the height of my weight, I would have been even more miserable. So did pretty good. Yep, Amy on YouTube is a colder weather indoor person. Yep, you can always put more clothes on, but you can only take so much off before you get arrested.
Yeah, true.
But at home, I guess you don't have to worry about that, but still. But absolutely. So thank you all so much for joining, and we've got a new person on Instagram. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here.
No.
We're here every Tuesday, 7:30 Central Time. Doing this live podcast, we broadcast on Instagram, Facebook, and now YouTube. YouTube's the best place if you want to catch the videos of our past podcasts, but also the audio versions are available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. So absolutely welcome. We got Stacy from Pennsylvania, which I have a friend and former coworker in Pennsylvania, and she says it's miserable up there. So hopefully you're not that miserable up there. So if you want to introduce our topic today, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be really productive and helpful.
Yes, tonight we are talking about weight loss is not one size fits all because what works for one person will not work for the other. So
Absolutely. And we kind of touched base a little bit last week that it's not a cookie cutter kind of thing. What works for me definitely does not work for Courtney, and vice versa. We're two different people, completely different people. Other than the fact that she's also a woman and I'm a man, but she's also less tall. She's not short, but less tall, and I'm very tall. So sex, age, height, personalities, everything is going to be different, and it is absolutely okay that your journey does not look the same as someone else. And the new person on Instagram, MS Tina, is from Houston, Texas. Also probably really hot there too.
Yes.
But welcome. So yes, it's not going to be the same, and it is okay. And something we'll talk about a little bit later too, a little bit more in depth. But your journey is not going to look the same either from day to day, week to week, or month to month. Things will definitely change depending on circumstances. But we'll get into that a little bit more in detail a little bit later.
Yes. But like he said, there's so many different things that can cause weight loss to differ from person to person. Like what works for me might not work for Chris. What works for you might not work for me. And some people will lose slower, some people will lose faster. So it's definitely not a one size fits all. So there's so many like trial and error. Try this. If it doesn't work for you, try that. And sometimes it's really hard to find what works for you because of many different factors that we will also talk about.
Absolutely. And don't it is good to look at other people's journeys and kind of see what you might like to try, but don't get upset or frustrated if your journey doesn't look the same as other people's.
Yes, absolutely. Because people have different body compositions, metabolisms, responses to various diets, exercise routines. So like I have insulin resistance. I literally have a health condition that causes me to not lose weight as easily.
Hmm.
And other people do not. And so it's not fair for me to look at them and be like, why are they losing weight and I'm not? And so I have to try different things,
Hmm.
different diets. Like for some people with insulin resistance, the keto diet works great for them because it's low carb. And insulin, carbs, they go together. So that's why different things work for different people because of reasons like that. Things like insulin resistance, diabetes, multiple different health conditions, low cholesterol. I know people with like kidney problems can't have protein. So they have to limit certain proteins. And so their diet might look different than yours because of that. So it's because of many, many different factors. It is not a one size fits all.
Absolutely. And someone on the Instagram, MS Tina mentioned that she got a nutritionist recently, but still feel like she needs a little help eating better and exercising. Nutritionists are definitely a really good tool, and a lot of people don't realize, but a lot of insurance plans cover nutritionists, but
Mhm.
it's not the only tool in the arsenal. So definitely keep using the nutritionist, but find other tools you can use to help eat better and continue exercising. Having a workout buddy or an
Mhm.
accountability partner can help you with both of those aspects as well.
Yes, and like I mentioned earlier, your metabolism can affect it. If you have a fast metabolism, you're just going to lose weight faster. You're not going to gain
Mhm.
weight as easily as somebody like me. I have a slow metabolism. Part of me wonders if it's probably either because I have PCOS, I have insulin resistance. I just have a lot going on. So
Mhm.
my metabolism is very slow. But I have friends, they can literally eat like a house and they're not going to gain any weight because their
Mhm.
metabolism is so fast. So, with the whole with the saying weight loss is not one size fits all, the whole point of this is to say do not look at other people's journey for your own journey.
Mhm.
Like
And then don't get
don't be
discouraged
upset.
either.
Yes, do not be upset if what works for them is not going to work for you because it is not one size fits all. So with my awful metabolism, I will lose slower than somebody else. And sometimes I can look at them and do the exact same thing and be like, why is this not working? I mean, it
Mhm.
gets frustrating and sometimes it causes you to give up. So like I said, trial and error to find what works for you because what works for
Mhm.
one person will not work for another because of all of these different factors, health
Mhm.
conditions, metabolism, how much you weigh already. I'm going to be able to eat more than somebody that weighs 150 pounds.
Mhm.
My diet's going to look different than somebody who, weighs 150 pounds because I need more
Mhm.
calories. So many different
Same goes
factors.
for me because I'm significantly tall. I'm about a foot taller
He is exactly a foot taller.
than Courtney, and that alone allows me to have more calories just because I'm a physically much taller
Yes.
human being, and it takes more calories to get this body moving than it does to get her
Mhm.
body moving, and so those types of things come into
Yeah.
play. But she also mentioned her insulin resistance. I do have some insulin resistance, and it does sometimes get frustrating when it feels like I should be working my butt off, like literally, and it's not.
And his butt's not going anywhere.
No, it's not. But that's where we have the persistence and the consistency where we push for those things regardless, and we are seeing changes, and regardless of whether we see changes in the weight. And I said this before that no matter what, whether I continue to lose weight or not, this decision that I've made to make a healthier version of me, I'm going to stick with it because
Mhm.
regardless of any weight loss, this eating healthier and being active is making my cardiovascular system, my heart, and everything else that goes along with it a lot healthier than it would be if I wasn't getting any exercise and I wasn't getting a healthier diet. So I do definitely
Mhm.
want to continue losing weight, but my exercise and my eating healthy is ultimately still going to be beneficial regardless of whether I lose weight or not.
Yes, but also factors like your sleep schedule, your daily schedule in general, exercise plans, like those kind of things are also going to affect how you lose weight. People that get enough sleep naturally have a better health.
Mhm.
And I know it's awful for some of us that don't. I say some of us, I get enough sleep, but some people do only get 4 or 5 hours sleep a night, and then they wonder why they're not losing weight. They're
Mhm.
not healthy. You're not getting enough sleep. We have a whole episode about sleep if you want to go back and look at that,
Mhm.
but sleep is very, very, very important. Exercise is important. And I understand some people, might not have the mobility and stuff. There are exercises you can do sitting down
Mhm.
there, but exercise affects how fast you lose weight or how a diet in general works for you.
Mhm.
Um, and I lost my spot.
Also, to
On
go
YouTube.
to go back, your journey can also differ from day to day.
Yes.
Yesterday and today we've had really busy schedules, and
Mhm.
we've not been able to make it to the gym. Um, I did make it on two different walks, one during my lunch break and one after I got off of work, and so I still kind of made it work and fit it into the schedule, even though we couldn't go to the gym tomorrow. Thankfully, our schedule is going to allow us to go to the gym. Normally, we go. They're not saying you have to go this much, but in our routine, we normally go to the gym 5, 6, sometimes
Sometimes
7
7, yeah.
days a week. And this week we'll probably be at 2 or 3 times, and that's
Mhm.
okay too. But that's just to say that our journey also is different from day to day, week to week, and sometimes our schedule allows for more exercise, and sometimes our schedule makes it difficult for us to plan meals and have meals at home. So we have to be a little bit more
Mhm.
um, mindful of what we eat if we have to go out. So those types of things. So um, it just your schedule for even for your own thing can be different
Mhm.
per day.
Yes, and with that, with it being different day to day, month to month, even year to year, sometimes what worked for you last year isn't going to work for you now. And that's why this whole like health journey can be so hard. Because it might not work for you. That's one reason I love Healthy because there are like 7 different plans. So if it doesn't work for you, you can find another one that's going to work. Because like you said, it could differ from day to day, week to week. Your stress levels could be different. When I'm stressed, I do one of two things. I either want to eat nothing or I want to eat everything, and there's no in between. So
Hmm.
my stress level definitely impacts my weight
Hmm.
because those days I don't want to eat anything because I'm so stressed. I tend to lose weight because I'm not eating enough, and that's not good. I'm not saying that's good, but my weight's going to be down when I'm so stressed I don't feel like eating because I'm not eating enough.
Hmm.
On the opposite end of that, if I'm having a stressful moment where I want to eat everything, and I do, my weight's going to be up. So day to day, month to month, week to
Hmm.
week, your journey could look different. And what works for you at one moment might not work for you at another moment.
Yeah, and MS Tina on Instagram mentioned that she has a hard time finding a routine because she works 8 to 5 at a desk job, and it's hard. She finds it hard to wake up early, and then she's tired when she gets
Yeah.
home, gets finished with work. I feel you. Mine's a little different. Mine's 7 to 3 basically. And I also have a desk job, but I work from home, and I do have a standing desk that I use as often as I can. Sometimes I'm a little lazy. If you happen to have a standing desk, that can sometimes be helpful. If you can't get that activity in before work or after work, and just try to be more intentional about getting up and moving around as much as you possibly can. It's not going to be the same as actually getting a workout, but any kind of intentional movement throughout your day, if you've got a desk job, is going to be better than just sitting completely stationary the entire day. So any kind of movement. But if you can, every now and then, even when you're tired, try to do something.
Hmm.
There was a time in our lives where we were getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we loathed it just to get in a workout before we did work, and we didn't do it every day, and don't recommend it all the time, but occasionally, if you have to, um,
Yeah.
try to see if you can make it work as much as you possibly can.
or even, doing small things on a break if you have to, whatever works. And like I mentioned earlier, you can, like, even YouTube has some like sitting down exercises. So if it's
Mhm,
just daunting feeling like you need to get up and do an exercise, there are so many workouts you can do just sitting down that just deal with your arms or moving your
mhm.
legs, but you don't actually have to be standing up, because I know sometimes I'm just so tired I do not feel like standing up.
But housework is also
Mhm.
movement, activity, vacuuming, doing dishes, being more mindful about the things you need to do, and being more active when you do it.
Mhm.
I mean, we have to do laundry, we have to do dishes, we have to do some cleaning. You can try to make sure that the movement you're getting is also going to be productive if you
Yes.
already have to do it.
Yes, and in the health, I just checked in the Healthy app. That's actually one of the things that can earn you activity bites is housework.
Mhm,
So keep that in mind, because
mhm,
any kind of movement, if you are moving your body, whether it's exercising or not, you are burning more calories.
mhm.
And that's really part of the point of exercising is for cardiovascular health, building muscles, but part of it is also to burn more calories
Just
so you
moving.
lose weight. So
Mhm,
just moving your body any way you can, even if it's just standing beside your desk and doing steps, that will help you burn more calories to also help you lose more weight.
mhm. And our backyard looks like a jungle, so I've been going out for about 10, 15 minutes a day during my break to do a little bit of weed eating and mowing the lawn to try to attack and get that jungle down. And that is movement too. And also with the heat kind of helps burn the
Hmm.
calories a little bit more too. So anything that you can do to save time and bundle the things that you already have to be in to do that is definitely very helpful.
Hmm. Yes. But also with the one size fits all, body compositions also make people lose differently. That's kind of what we talked about with him being taller, me being shorter. But I've had this happen many times. I find it hard to share my food on our Instagram anymore, because I am a 286-pound woman. Therefore, I need like 2,200 calories and I get like 39 bites. It used to be almost 50 bites. So when I would do like a what I eat in a day, keep in mind, at the time, like at my highest, I was almost 400 pounds. So I could eat a lot more than a person that was 150 pounds because of my body composition.
Hmm.
And I would share what I eat, and I would get so many messages of, how do you're eating too much, or how are you able to eat that much? I only get 24 bites, or and things like that. So comparisons can be really rough sometimes. So
Hmm.
just keep that in mind, that people's body compositions cause them to be able to eat more, eat less, lose more by eating more, like, so
Hmm.
don't compare what somebody, like, if you see some like a what I eat in a day on Instagram or something, don't feel like you have to eat that way to
Hmm.
lose weight. Everyone's body compositions are different, meaning everybody needs a different amount of calories because of their
Hmm.
body composition, because of their metabolism, all of those things. So just because it works for one person does not mean it's going to work for you, but it
Hmm.
also doesn't mean it's not going to work for you.
Oh yeah.
So like I've said like 4 times, I feel like it's so much trial and error to
Hmm.
find out what's going to work for you.
Yeah, and the same goes for exercise. I had a friend of mine who's similar height, but also already a lot more slimmer. We went and did a similar workout, put about a similar effort and a similar time, but I burned more calories than he did. And he was like, "Wait a minute, you burn more calories than me." I was like, "Well, my body's bigger, and it physically takes more calories for me to do the same work that you do." So keep those things in mind as well.
Hmm.
And Jody mentions on YouTube, Dr. Chatterjee 5 minute workout hacks. So the 5 minute workouts you can do in your kitchen in the morning or on your break. Those are really helpful. So thank you so much, Jody, for providing that. There's lots and lots of different options that you can do. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there
Hmm.
during your breaks. That doesn't require a whole lot of effort, and that's easy to fit in your schedule.
Yes, absolutely. But also people's goals can affect what
Hmm.
works for you and what doesn't, because somebody that needs to lose 10 pounds is probably not going to do as rigorous or intense of a diet plan as someone that needs to lose 200.
Hmm.
It's going to look different. Your calories, like I mentioned, your calories are going to be different. And just what works for you in general is going to be different. So just because somebody, I'm not saying just because somebody only wants to lose 10 pounds, that means that they're not going to
Somebody's
try as hard.
goal of
But
10 pounds is just as important as my goal
mhm,
of 100 more pounds.
absolutely. Sorry, we're
Mm.
reading comment.
Yep. Um, yes, talk about busy schedules and
Mhm.
fitting it, and it definitely can be challenging. But just do your best and do as much movement as you possibly can.
Yes, absolutely. And then also with all of this one size fits all, everybody's journey is going to look different. We want to reiterate that this is why we love healthy.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, we love healthy. We're healthy coaches, but they have so many different programs, and we've gone in depth about
Mhm.
the programs before. But they have 7 different programs, and you can pick any of them. Like I mentioned, if you have insulin resistance, they have the keto, they have the carb conscious, they have multiple different ones for insulin problems that are great for those kinds. And then something like I mentioned, people with kidney problems can't have as much protein. You can pick a plan where you wouldn't have to eat as much protein, where it's, veggies, fruits, those kind of things. They have so many different plans that work for so many different people because weight loss is not one size fits all. What works for me is not going to work for Chris. What works for Chris is not going to work for Joy. It's just everybody is different. So I love the fact that they have the 7 different plans that you can choose from. And also, like, they have the newer plan of the GLP-1, and some people just need that.
Mhm.
And some people don't. And that's okay. But they have all these different options, and like that new one, because it is not one size fits all. And some people need extra assistance, some people need extra help. I have to take medicine for my insulin resistance.
Mhm.
That is extra assistance to help me lose weight. So I just love the fact that they have the 7 different plans. And if you are on a plan and it's not working, try a different one out
Mhm.
because there are so many different kinds to choose from.
Absolutely. We don't recommend changing too often, but if you are on a plan for a couple weeks and it's not beneficial to you, try changing another one. I would probably try recommend at least giving it 2 weeks
I would probably say at
or
least a month.
more, a month. Yeah,
Mhm.
no less than 2 weeks, but try to give a particular plan a month to be able to get used to it and see if you see
Mhm.
any progress. And if you're not, then you can change. But definitely don't stick to one particular plan because you feel like you're stuck with it.
And also, with all of this, if you just keep trying, and nothing's working, you can't lose weight on any of the plans, you've tried them all, nothing works. Um, at that point, I would advise probably going to a doctor to make sure there are no health conditions causing
Mhm.
you to lose weight. I could not lose weight for the longest. I found out I had PCOS, insulin resistance. When I got help for that, the weight started coming
And you had
off.
some minor thyroid issues there
I did
for
have
a
some
while,
minor
and that can
thyroid
definitely
issues too.
impact your weight
Mhm.
loss. So definitely see if there's something going on there.
Sometimes we need extra help.
Mhm. Absolutely. So don't be ashamed to feel like you're doing it. There is no easy
It's
way or
not easy
cheating.
anyway.
Yeah, having medication is not a cheat, and that's not the easy way because it's still hard. Just because you have some sort of medication, whether it's metformin to help with insulin resistance or a GLP-1, that's not taking you the easy way out because you still have to put in the work. You still have to be careful about your eating. You still have to get your movement in. So don't feel bad just because you have to get assistance. Um, but know that you are putting your blood, sweat, and tears into this health journey to make a better you, and it is worth it,
Mhm.
even if it takes a long time or if it's quick for some people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So let's go ahead and move on to our recipe for the week. I think it's a really delicious one,
Oh,
and
this one's good. I haven't made it in a
yeah,
very long time, but now I'm gonna have to make it like
every time you
ASAP.
share a recipe that we haven't had
I
in a
know.
while, it makes us want to get make it, and we do. So really delicious. If you
Oh,
want to go ahead
it's
and
on there. I
yeah,
don't know why I thought that wasn't right.
nope.
This is spinach artichoke chicken. It is so simple. It's 3 ingredients, well, plus the seasonings because season your chicken. I am not a seasoning girl. He is a seasoning guy. I like seasoning, but So this recipe, I will preface this by saying this recipe does not have any seasonings on it, but it does say on there season to your liking. So whatever chicken seasonings you like, we like
Season them with your
tender.
heart.
Yeah, season with your heart. But you need a pound or however much chicken you want. It does not have to be a pound, however much chicken you want. Boneless, skinless chicken breast or boneless, skinless chicken thighs would be good too. We don't get to eat thighs in our house because Chris does not like them,
Not as
but you
much.
can use thighs as well. It will raise the calories and bites though, because on some plans, the boneless, skinless chicken breast
Best.
is 0 and less calories. Anyways, a cup of spinach artichoke dip. I use the one made with Greek yogurt because the macros are better. You can use just a regular one that might be cheaper, but it will have higher bites and calories. And a cup of fat-free shredded cheddar cheese. I've seen this trick online to wash your fat-free cheese and it melts better. We've also sprayed it, and by wash I mean rinse it. Don't like put soap in it. Rinse it with water, let it drain. I know it sounds weird, but it takes off whatever that coating is on it
Yeah,
and
it's
it
like
makes it
a
melt
like a,
better.
a coating that helps the cheese to keep from sticking to each other. So rinsing that off will
But
help
you
it
can
melt
also
melt
spray it
better.
with like spray butter or
Hmm.
put some butter on it or something, and it helps it melt as well. Anyways, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Uh, preheat your oven to 375 in a greased baking dish, a 9 by 13 preferably. Place your chicken seasoned to your
With your
liking.
love, with your
Yes,
heart.
with love.
Hmm.
Top it with the spinach artichoke dip. Um, you can pound the chicken to make it flatter if you prefer. The step is not required. You probably will not have to cook it as long if you do that, but it makes it thinner, and to me, it makes it just taste a little bit better.
More tender.
It's more, yeah. Top it with the shredded cheese and then bake that for around 30 minutes until cooked through 165 degrees Fahrenheit with a meat thermometer. And then that's it. Enjoy it with your favorite sides. It is delicious. It's easy. It's 3 ingredients plus the seasonings. It's pretty cheap to make depending on where you get the chicken and the yogurt. But it's very good, easy, quick. We probably would serve ours with like some broccoli and maybe some rice or something, but
Hmm.
so
Ooh,
good.
some roasted broccoli. We haven't done that in a while too.
Some burnt broccoli.
Courtney likes to air fry her broccoli until it's crispy.
Very crispy. It's so good.
Yes, I like broccoli regardless. I like it crispy. I like it not crispy. I like it steamed.
Yes.
I love my broccoli.
He likes it anyway. I have
Yes.
to have it burnt or smothered in sauces.
Yeah, and then if you smother with too much sauce, it's a little counterproductive. But you do need your green vegetables, even with sauce if you need to. Your green vegetables are very important for your health.
That's true.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us this week. If you have any questions or comments, or you have any topics you want to talk about, feel free to comment on these videos. We love going back and looking at the comments. If you have a recipe that you want Courtney to try to see if she can,
I love healthifying recipes.
yes.
So if there's something you have found and you're like, this is just unhealthy, let me know. I will healthify. I think we've shared like a Arby's roast beef and cheddar dupe,
Mhm.
some sort of cheeseburger
The
dupe,
hash brown
like hash
casserole.
brown casserole. Like I love healthifying unhealthy.
Yes,
I
there's so many different options that you can choose, and you can make your favorite recipes and just do some swaps to make things a little bit more healthier
It's
and
actually one of our topics in the future is healthy swaps. So we
healthy
might have to do
swaps.
that next week. We'll see. We'll see.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. We will see you all here next Tuesday at 7:30.
Bye guys.
Bye.